circle. Very good. So in the unit circle, r is equal to 1. So we have x squared plus y squared is equal to 1. Are we okay with that? Yeah. Well, we'll talk about that. Okay. All right. I'm going to rearrange this just a little bit. I like that better. Okay. Now, see the connections come through, folks. Y is the same as sine. X is the same as this is the most important and fundamental trigonometric identity formula that you learn. Sine squared plus cosine squared is equal to 1. Now, note that I didn't write it like this. I didn't write sine of theta squared, because then it looks like I'm squaring the theta, right? But when I write the square over the sine, that means you take the sine of the angle and then you square it. Okay? You okay with that? All right. It's formula number 1. Got something else for you. What's tangent equal to? 5 over x. So tangent's also equal to, do what we just did. Sine of theta over cosine of theta. Very good. See how we're generating formulas here using what we know about x and y? Got another one for you. Do you remember the relationship between tangent and cotangent? Reciprocals. So this was x over y, or cosine of theta over sine of theta. Good. Secant was the reciprocal of what? Cosine. 1 over x. So 1 over cosine. What was the other one? CSC, cosecant. Cosecant of theta is 1 over y, which is 1 over sine of theta. How about that? Okay there? See where I got all of them. I'm not just making these up, right? Look at where we started. X squared plus y squared is r squared. You said it's the equation for a circle, right? What else is it? Pythagorean theorem. All trigonometry stems from Pythagorean theorem. Okay, it's all right there. So let's generate some more formulas. I can see you're excited. Control your enthusiasm while I do this next one. Sine squared plus cosine squared equal to 1. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to manipulate that formula a little bit. I'm going to manipulate that formula by dividing everything by cosine squared. It's legal. It's legal to divide by the same thing on both sides, right? So that's my step. Now let's simplify. What's sine squared divided by cosine squared? Tangent squared. What's cosine squared divided by cosine squared? What's 1 over cosine squared? This is my second formula that you really got to know. And again, I will give you a sheet with all this on it, but if you have to construct it, it generally helps. Okay, and then one more. So I've got that. Now I'm going to do it again. I'm going to sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta is equal to 1. And this time I'm going to divide through by sine squared. What's sine squared divided by sine squared? What's cosine squared divided by sine squared? 1 divided by sine squared? You could. Tangent squared is sine squared over cosine squared. Tangent to the third is sine to the third over cosine to the third. These are numbers 4, 5, 6, and 7 that are extremely important as well. So you already got 7 formulas, and I will give you a sheet that has those as well so you can memorize them. You should, as much as you are capable, commit these formulas to memory. We will use them over and over and over and over and over again. Okay? Yes. Sure. So, I'm not going to force you to memorize these for the test. I will give you some of them. But Yep, write them over and over. Okay, go back to your notes. These are the problems that people do incorrectly on the test. Can you repeat after me? Mr. Gens, I will not give up, because I'm made of more than that. I'm going to make you proud. If I don't know how to do the problem, I won't write IDK. I will at least write you a poem. Okay, thank you. Great. No, but I enjoy reading it. Okay, so let's go. Sine of t. It says, find the values of 6 trigonometric functions given the following information. You know that sine of t is equal to negative 4/5, and you know that the angle t is in the third quadrant. Okay? That's what you know. Here's the deal. If you don't know where to start by listing the 6 trigonometric functions. Sine of t, cosine of t, tangent of t. Cosecant of t, secant of t, and cotangent of t. Sometimes people don't even do that, and I go nuts. What's the obvious one that you can write down? Yeah, negative 4/5. They give you one right there, so put it down. If I know that one, which other one should I know pretty easily? Cosecant is simply the reciprocal. So you see how you got 2 out of the 6 right away. 2 out of 6 points is better than 0 out of 6 points. It's negative because the reciprocal doesn't change value. The opposite reciprocal does, like if you're doing parallel and perpendicular lines. Okay, so now it says we're in the third quadrant. This is really important for you guys to all think about. I don't know what the angle actually is, but I know it's in the third quadrant, okay? Let's think about this, folks. Is x positive or negative in the third quadrant? Negative. Is y positive or negative in the third quadrant? So therefore, since sine is y and cosecant has to do with y, then these are both negative, right? Since cosine has to do with x and secant has to do with x, those will both be. Tangent is y divided by x. A negative divided by a negative will make a positive. So these will be positive, these two will be negative. Do you see that? So let's go to work. We're going to use a formula that we just made up. We're going to do sine squared of theta plus cosine squared of theta is equal to 1. And we can then see how we're going to be able to solve for cosine then. What do you get if you square your sine value? 16/25 plus cosine squared of theta Yep, when you square a negative, it becomes positive. I rewrote 1 as 25 over 25. Subtract, and you get cosine squared is 9 over 25. Square root cosine of theta is plus or minus 3/5. We already decided it could be the positive one or the negative one. Negative because it's in the third quadrant. X is negative in the third quadrant. Very good. If I know cosine is negative 3/5, I know secant is negative 5/3. Anybody know a formula I can use for tangent? Yeah, take sine divided by cosine, right? So I'm going to take negative 4/5 divided by negative 3/5. Yeah, y is sine, cosine is x, right? I divide those, I multiply by the reciprocal. 5s and the negatives cancel, I get 4/3. If tangent is 4/3, what's cotangent? Done. Is that bad? No. So don't go leaving it blank on the text. The next one's the harder one, though. This is the one that people really don't like. Okay? Yep. What? We'll probably get to the test next week, Monday or Tuesday. So we've just got, after this, we just got one section left to cover, and that's solving for angles and stuff. So I would say probably next week, Tuesday. Yo. Yeah, if you don't have school Monday, I'll be calling you guys in. If you're absent, take a 0. So Tuesday or Wednesday. All right. All right, some people say they don't know where to start. You don't know where to start? It says write down the 6 trigonometric functions. So write down the 6. And then we've got an obvious one right away. What do we have? Cosecant's -2. Very good. So sine's reciprocal, -1/2. I've already got 2 out of the 6. Now, watch. This is probably the most important piece moving forward from here for the rest of the unit, that you would understand this. This will save you a few points on the test. Cosecant is negative. Does cosecant have to do with x or y? It has to do with y, doesn't it? So if it's negative, which of the 4 quadrants could it be in? Yeah, it's negative, so it's either in the 3rd or 4th quadrant, right? So we know we're in the 3rd or 4th quadrant, but we need to know which one. Because we either have a negative x and a negative y, or a positive x and a negative y. Gabe, you got a thought? You said it was which quadrant? It's actually in the 4th. Okay? You're thinking the right way, but some mistake happened there. So here's the idea. Cotangent is less than 0, right? What does it mean to be less than 0? You're negative. So cotangent is negative. Well, think about it. Positive divided by positive is positive. Positive divided by negative, negative. Negative divided by negative, positive. Positive divided by negative, negative. So you know you're in the 4th quadrant. You need the x and y values to be different in sign. You see that? This is positive x, positive y. This is negative x, positive y. Negative x, negative y. and then positive x, negative y. So you can see that as you think about, just the position, that, we know that sine, since it has a negative y, it's going to be down here. And since cotangent is less than 0, it's got to be either the second or the fourth. So the fourth is the only one that includes them both. Does that make sense? That kind of deductive reasoning you're going to have to be able to do on the test and on your assignment today. Okay? Question. Cosine is x. Yep. This is cotangent. Cotangent is x divided by y. Okay. So, we know we're working in the fourth quadrant. So let's finish this problem off. Since you know sine, you could go back and use that sine squared plus cosine squared, but I'm not going to do that. I'm going to use a different formula just to show you that you can use different formulas. And I'm going to use the one that says this. It says 1 plus cotangent squared of theta is equal to cosecant squared of theta. And I like that one because then I avoid working with the fraction. 1 plus cotangent squared of theta is equal to, what do you get if you square cosecant? 4. Subtract the 1. Cotangent squared of theta is equal to 3. Then what? Cotangent theta is equal to plus or minus the root of 3. Which quadrant did we decide we were working in? Fourth quadrant. So is cotangent positive or negative down there? Cotangent is negative. Connor? Fourth quadrant, you got a positive x and a negative y, and cotangent is x divided by y. So you have a positive divided by a negative, it's going to give you negative. And it tells us right here, it's negative, it's less than 0. So you know cotangent is the negative root of 3. What other value do you then know? We know tangent. What do we got to do? Flip it. Negative 1 over the root of 3. Can you leave the root of 3 in the denominator? Just multiply top and bottom by. So you get negative root of 3 over 3. What do we have left to find? Cosine. Well, I'll go back and use my sine squared theta plus cosine squared of theta. Is equal to 1. We're in the fourth quadrant. Cosine is x. So in the fourth quadrant, is x positive or negative? Positive. So we know cosine and secant are going to be positive. See that? What's sine squared? 1/4 plus cosine squared is equal to 4/4. Subtract the 1/4. Cosine squared is, you take the square root of 3, you take square root of 4. Yep, so I have cosine of theta is equal to plus or minus the square root of 3 over 2. We decided, was it positive or negative? Positive. Root of 3 over 2. How do I find secant? Take the reciprocal. 2 over the root of 3, which if you multiply by the root of 3, you get 2 roots of 3 over 3. A little bit more involved, huh? But very doable. I promise you, if you do not understand today's assignment, you will need to learn it before the test. Otherwise, the test will not go well for you. Because these type of problems were 6 points, and 6 points adds up pretty quickly. Because if the test is, say, out of 60, then 6 points, that's a tenth of your grade right there. So all of a sudden, you don't know how to do a problem, drop your test 1 grade right away. So, all right. So here is your assignment. Tomorrow, I'm going to have a little bit of a review assignment for you. Just small. And then today is just 61 through 68. They're just like what we did. Okay. And I think that this is probably for most people the most challenging assignment that they get over the course of this unit. Um, yeah, I'll explain that. So I used to do this more. I apologize. I try to be perfect, but I'm not. So yesterday I assigned some problems to you that I never should have assigned you. I didn't assign them in previous years. I don't know why I thought to assign 268 through 70 for those word problems yesterday. I haven't assigned those in previous years. So what I intended on assigning was 65, 64, 65, and 69. So here's the point. If you already did 68 through 70, don't worry about it. If you haven't done it yet, you might want to do 64 and 65 and 69 instead. So, um, anyway, my apologies. There you go. Have a great day. We'll see you on Thursday. I won't be here tomorrow.